Hi everybody, this is Sheheryar Shahid and you're watching All of Your Business. We are going to discuss some key economic developments in the country. And without any further delay, let's talk to our guest, Mr. Mehtab Haider. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you, sir?
I am fine.
Sir, are you enjoying the sunny day?
Of course, it's a beautiful weather in Islamabad.
And Islamabad always has a great weather.
Of course.
Sir, I'll begin the podcast with the first question, and that is: we all have been witnessing the skyrocketing prices of tomatoes, and one of the reasons is actually the Pak-Afghan border closure after the clashes. Sir, what else we are going to see in terms of prices surge, and what do you think uh, till when it's gonna last?
Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Actually, we have also witnessed the escalation of prices of ghee and cooking oil.
Hmm.
It has already gone up by rupees 10
Hmm.
per liter. So, but it is the responsibility of the federal as well as the provincial government to take care of these prices. For instance, in case of tomato,
Hmm.
we have seen that because of blockade of this bordering areas, the prices has gone up.
Hmm.
But in case of ghee and cooking oil, we have witnessed in the past that some of the ghee and cooking oil mills are located in Fata and Pata.
Hmm.
So, because of tax incentives,
Hmm.
but they are producing ghee and cooking oil there and they are transporting it into the settled areas in all other parts of the country. So, government and Federal Board of Revenue must take care of these all issues because there are some genuine issues. For instance, blockade of roads or blockade of bordering areas can result into the escalation in the prices, but
Hmm.
it should not be made an excuse to exploit the consumers. It should be avoided, and it is the responsibility of the National Price Monitoring Committee to look into its details and take remedial measures.
So now tomatoes are more higher than the chicken prices. So, do you think all the vegetables are going to touch the skies in terms of their prices?
Of course, tomato prices has gone up, and there are some supply chain disruptions. But when demand and supply there will be imbalance, it will result into the escalation in prices. There are some fruits which have also witnessed a surge in the domestic market, especially all those fruits. For instance, apple. For instance, some other fruits which are coming from Afghanistan or Iran, they are facing price increase. But I think it is also responsibility of the customers and the consumers that when there is exploitation, it shouldn't be allowed. So they must go to some any other alternates instead of, or use it very cautiously so that their reliance can be reduced.
Sir, now we all know that Pakistan is facing major wheat crisis. So now IMF has also raised concern about it. Sir, what could be the concern? What is the concern, and are you seeing this getting resolved?
Actually, we have witnessed price increase in the floor prices. Wheat floor prices has gone up at retail level, and the government will have to import wheat. In last week, the federal cabinet has approved a wheat policy, and after it, they have approved an indicative price. When they approved the indicative price, IMF raised objections because what we have committed with the IMF that we are going to deregulate the market. So, Ministry of Food Security has explained to the IMF, and IMF sent a letter to the Pakistani authorities on this. So, we have explained that this time we have given an indicative price. It is not meant for any spot price or minimum price. It is just an indicative price. And so let's see how much we are able to satisfy the IMF. Another concern of the IMF is on the agriculture income tax. Agriculture income tax, all the provincial governments have made legislation. But Pakistani authorities have requested to the IMF to delay or postpone its collection for some time, keeping in view this flood situation. Especially Sindh is
greatly been damaged.
yes, Sindh is showing some reluctance on part of agriculture income tax. We have requested to the IMF and we are still waiting their response. But IMF Executive Board is expected to meet in December and negotiations are underway on this subject.
So there were reports that Sindh is about to procure up to 1.2 million tons of wheat at rupees 3,500 per 40 kilogram. So what it could result in?
This is against the commitment we have made with the IMF because IMF wants complete deregulated market. And this wheat market transactions per annum hovers around 2 trillion rupees. It's a huge. So uh, there are some concerns from the IMF on this procurement plan. IMF can allow may allow Pakistan or provincial governments to build up their strategic reserves. But this strategic reserves should meant to avoid exploitation in the market. But if this procurement will become huge, then IMF will again raise concerns. So we are just negotiating it with the IMF that the how this whole issue will be settled.
Sir, we talked about the wheat imports in the previous podcast as well, and I would like to talk about it again. Does that mean that wheat prices are going to touch the skies if we, or what could be the effect what could be the relief, or what should people expect?
Actually, there is a need to analyze international market on this subject as well, because if the wheat prices at domestic market are higher and there are incentives in procuring from international market, then it makes sense. But if there are higher prices in international market or commodity market, because we have seen some surge both in petroleum and commodity
Absolutely.
markets in the international market. So this decision requires an in-depth analysis before reaching any conclusion.
So, what would you say to the audience who are just looking forward to the prices?
Actually, after December or around December, if the government doesn't import the wheat, then there will be more pressure on the wheat floor prices.
And on the citizens as well?
Of course, when the prices will escalate, uh, wheat flour is the staple food of this country. Everyone uses it. So its prices, if it will go up, it will certainly affect the common citizens of this country.
And sir, it's a very general question, just for the knowledge of people who are watching. If one commodity goes up in terms of prices, is it interdependent with any other commodity?
Especially, this is a very good question. This is especially the wheat and wheat flour prices. If the wheat or wheat flour prices will go up, it will affect all other commodities. It will affect overall inflation, because everyone says the roti prices has gone up, so I am going to increase the prices. So it will affect the overall CPI basket. That's why it is the responsibility of the government, and every government becomes sensitive on wheat and wheat flour prices. But because we are under the IMF program and because of these floods, but this time there is a need to give incentives to the farmers, because the land become more fertile after the floods. So this is the season when the growers is sowing its wheat, and its cultivation will be ready in April and May period. So this is the time to give incentives to the farmers.
And sir, having said that, bakery items will go up. If
Of course, every item will go up. Even transport fares will go up when the roti prices will is going to be increased.
Thank you so much, sir. That's all for today. Keep watching All of Your Business.